Well, Just Click was implanted this week, at least for a change and out of the studios for a breather. We go everywhere technology is. My ideology and desire is to see a change. Change has to take place in Malawi through technology. Welcome to Technology for the People. Technology for the transformation of societies in Malawi. Welcome to Just Click, powered by Access Communications. I am Tadala. So today we launched Snapp Keepod Application Development Competition. In this competition, which is being run together with UNICEF, is aimed at developing applications that will solve some of the problems and challenges Malawi is facing at the moment. So what is the competition really all about?
Welcome all to the first Keepod, Snapp and Outernet App Challenge in Blantyre, Malawi. Okay, now once you guys have finished designing your apps, what makes this contest different from all the other ones we've had so far is we're going to be sending your apps out over the Outernet. The Keepod is an operating system on a USB flash drive. It doesn't cost a lot of money. Another problem that exists in Malawi is people don't have their own devices, right? You guys know that Skyband has sponsored the main prize, which is internet for a whole year. Okay? How awesome is that? Who's gonna win it? All of you. Okay. So then the second prize is this Outernet receiver and Raspberry Pi kit, okay, which will be installed at your school along with a dish like that, cable connected to this, and then will be connected to your school network. So every one of your school pupils at your school would be able to access it. Unless if it's the same school, okay? If you guys are from the same school, then you guys can choose which school you would like the installation to be donated to. Because there's lots of schools in Malawi that don't have any form of internet or computers or Outernet. And as you guys know, this is the third prize, which is also an Outernet receiver. It's an Outernet Lighthouse device. This device broadcasts Wi-Fi. It also has 4 GB onboard storage, but the storage space in the library space can basically be extended by also adding a flash drive or an SD card. The fourth prize is a very awesome prize from Zodiak. Zodiak and Just Click would give the fourth prize winner a short TV advert so that you can promote your app. Now the advert doesn't have to have you in it, but it could just be about your app, right? Now the fifth prize is a radio advert, also from Zodiak, on Zodiak Radio, for you to also be able to broadcast information about your app. Okay, advertise it, get it out there, let more people download it and experience what you've created. Okay, and then from 5 up to 10 prizes is some more Keepods signed by William Kamkwamba. Do you guys know all who William Kamkwamba is? So William Kamkwamba is the reason why we're doing what we're doing, okay? And in fact, William Kamkwamba was the inspiration behind the creation of the Outernet and those devices. The guys that created Outernet saw one of William's talks in the US, and after that they decided William really shows the true value of having a library in every village. Let me tell you quickly about William Kamkwamba in a nutshell. William lived in Kasungu. Let me quickly tell the story. William lived in Kasungu, and William and his family experienced a drought about 10 years ago. Okay, it was terrible. They couldn't irrigate their lands, and they weren't growing any crops, and there was no rain. So instead of worrying about it, William went and he set out to solve the problem himself. He went to the library, he picked up a book called Using Energy Efficiently. And through the book, even though William couldn't read English very well, but through just the pictures, William managed to learn how to build his own windmill. He went to a scrapyard, he got pieces of scrap metal and bicycle parts, and he built his own windmill that started pumping water up from the water table and irrigating his lands. At the same time, that windmill was generating electricity. So William started a small business by charging people cell phones, and he solved all of his problems by just reading a book. Now imagine if somebody in Malawi can solve some of their problems by just using your apps. Yeah? That's going to be the goal of this competition, is to see how many people's lives you guys can change with your apps. Are you guys excited? Are you ready to help us change the world?
The basic concept of the competition is that UNICEF will provide the developers various challenges that Malawi is facing. So this will require the competitors to develop applications that will help in addressing these challenges. The applications will be judged from the 10 Keepod points using Outernet in Malawi. And after they are developed, they will be sent over to the Outernet, where Keepod points will access them and then rate them according to how relevant and applicable they are to addressing the challenges in the society.
So when you don't get enough nutrients in your diet, so this is a huge challenge for children in Malawi. 16.7% of children under 5 are moderately or severely underweight. This is another huge problem that comes from malnutrition. You get underweight children, mainly children under 5 years, so toddlers, babies. And 42% of children under 3 years old are moderately or severely stunted. Here's a great fact. 15% of school-age children aged 6 to 13 never start school. So could you imagine never being able to go to school? So thinking about your apps, you could possibly think of like an app that teaches basic maths, basic English, maybe basic science to help aid children who will never start school. Maybe they can't afford it, it's too far. But like as Carl said, we put up Outernet devices in many rural areas. So this would actually give kids the opportunity to learn. Can you imagine never being able to learn? So an app which targets girls who might not be able to get to school because they're married or in a union is something to also think about. So basically, we have kids designing apps using an application called Snapp on their Keepods, which will then be broadcasted over the Outernet and the Google Play Store. So they're basically creating apps to solve local problems. And then we're going to distribute them over the Outernet so that people who don't have internet access can access them and check them out. And also people who do have internet who are able to access them to the Google Play Store can also have a look at them, download them, test them, use them.
Local problems. Maybe can you be a little more specific on these problems? What problems are we talking about?
Okay, so UNICEF sent us a document which highlighted some of the local problems. So, for example, health, malnutrition, lack of education, lack of access for some school children because they can't afford to go to school, or problems to do with health, malnutrition, maybe education, HIV and AIDS. So the kids were presented these problems and they have to come up and create apps which would solve one of these problems.
So in through the process, what are maybe some of the expectations and maybe what will be done during this process? What are you looking forward to?
So the start of the competition was today, and the kids have until the 22nd of April to create their apps through Snapp. It's quite a simple app. The kids don't necessarily have to know coding. They just put in the content, video, pictures, text. And then once it's done, it gets published to the App Store, the Google Play Store, sorry, and then also distributed over the Outernet. And the public gets to vote by obviously liking, giving the app likes, and also the representatives from Outernet and Keepod will also choose the winning app through the most votes, whichever app gets the most votes.
So in other words, technology is playing a very big role.
Yeah, technology is important, and it just shows that how we have young people creating apps using Snapp, Keepod, and then distributing it over the Outernet. It's incredible. Here's a great fact. 15% of school-age children aged 6 to 13 never start school. So could you imagine never being able to go to school? So thinking about your apps, you could possibly think of like an app that teaches basic maths, basic English, maybe basic science to help aid children who will never start school. Maybe they can't afford it, it's too far, but like as Carl said, we put up Outernet devices in many rural areas, so this would actually give kids the opportunity to learn. Can you imagine never being able to learn? How awful. So that's something to think about when you're doing your apps.
So how excited are the competitors, and how do they look forward to developing the apps to solve which and what challenges in Malawi? Why did you join this competition?
Well, I was told that this is an app that's going to help Malawi as a community, so I'm that person who loves helping people, so I guess that's the reason.
I thought it would be a fun challenge to try and win the 1 year free internet from Skyband, and I wanted to put my information on the internet so people have more things to browse on.
I like the prizes. First prize was really good, so that interested me. Plus, I just like helping people as well. So yeah, that was good.
I thought it would be a fun challenge, and I thought that to make an app, I could put in what I have written or created out there.
Well, usually I like a little challenge, something to get me interested, but I really like this challenge because it's helping people who don't have any resources that can allow them to learn what's going on around them and around the world. And I'm just trying to get it so that they know what's happening around the world and what they can do to live better lives. And yeah.
I joined the competition because I have free internet for 1 year and a Keepod.
So with the application you're planning to develop, what are the problems you're planning to address and why?
I'm planning to consider education because I've experienced that many kids actually, in spite of going to school, still struggle in speaking English. So yeah, I'll be focusing on that.
Right now, I think I'm going to create an app on education and trying to get teachers from advanced countries, for example, the USA or Europe, to come and teach poor schools in Malawi.
I'm looking at education, but on the technological side, because the world is growing rapidly in terms of technology, and I want to show that technology really improves education greatly, and so that it can help students have a greater potential, and they can expand the world and bring in new ideas into businesses. And
well, I'm planning to make an app on tourism to show all the tourist attractions in Malawi. So probably the problems that it will fix is that more people will come to Malawi and more people will know about Malawi.
Right now I'm planning to focus on nutrition because I've noticed that that's a big problem here in Malawi. And yeah.
I'm trying to think of teachers. So I make like a site for teachers so they can learn a few things there. So then you have more teachers in the country, so more classrooms. And so you don't have 76 children in one class. You have maybe 20.
But then there are many interventions that can be used to solve some of the challenges that the country has. But then one would say this competition is important. How important is this competition really?
It's important to actually run a competition because you want to involve young children to be able to develop applications that can resolve problems in their country. Because when you tame children whilst they're still young, as they're growing up to the next generation, they're going to be able to develop better and more solutions, technological solutions to different problems that we have in Malawi. We've got different problems in Malawi: health, agriculture. I can give an example in terms of health, like there's malnutrition. In terms of health, we have a lot of maternal deaths, or even infant mortality, which is high because a lot of people do not have access to health facilities. They're very far away, long distances. Some people are not able to access schools in terms of education, and they drop out because they cannot be able to have access. I mean, the schools are very far away. So we've got several problems that actually with the app, it can be able to kind of give some information to these children. I can give an example. In terms of maternal health, for example, some women may live in the local areas but don't know what to do in terms of emergencies. Let's say something has happened to them, water has broken or whatever, things like that. And with the apps, they can be able to have questions and have series of answers that can actually give them a kind of way where they can do first aid before they reach a certain health center. So in terms of that, technology plays a part whereby firsthand, when they cannot physically
visit those kind of areas. They can be able to access those kind of information, because some apps I can actually work on phones that are not Android. I can give an example of ComCare and Rapid SMS that UNICEF developed and are working on. They people that do not have even Android phones are able to access information via their phones that they have.
So, from explanation, it means technology is really key to actually resolving or ironing out some of the challenges Malawi is facing.
Yeah, sure.
And develop Malawi.
Yeah, sure, because it kind of closes the gap. Because physically, if we're being honest, most of the health centers or the schools, they're very far apart in the rural areas especially. So people have to walk long distances to actually get to them. And it kind of bridges the gap where they can get information at a fast rate to be able to act immediately or in terms of first aid before they reach the final destination. So it kind of gives them some information. Some people cannot be able to go on books or something like that because they don't even have that access to that. And if they can be able to have those things on their phone, they'll have immediate access and be able to attend to some of the challenges that they're actually facing. Technology is really good. It's a fast way of informing and actually helping people to resolve challenges that they're facing.
Well, after talking a lot about the Keepod Snapp Outernet App Challenge here in Blantyre, from me and my Just Click crew, we say we've got to go back to Els. Hasta la vista, amigos.